It's been a little while, and over the past month or so, there's been a bunch of little bits of news and music that's come out. So, welcome to the Bar for Bar podcast, and this week we got some catching up to do. So, first things first, if you've been subscribed or listening or watching this channel for a while, I took some time off because I was just tired. And it wasn't even like a long time, it was like a week off. And podcasts have been a bit more like every other week instead of every week, with Bar for Bar After Dark coming in like kind of in between. Really just to change things up, but mostly because I've also been really busy between work and school. There's a lot going on. Anyways, I'm still here. So October's been pretty busy. As far as music goes, personally, I didn't have a whole lot that I was super excited for, at least until towards like the middle part of the month. And it's kind of weird because we've had so many releases, like just, every month so far this year, and there's been something to talk about majorly at least. But yeah, not as much this time, at least for me. Anyways. Starting from the top, as far as what I can remember, at least, and what I've been listening to. Actually, not even from October, but I think it came out at the end of August. Black Odyssey dropped Black Vintage. And I mentioned this on Bar for Bar After Dark, if anyone had checked that out. But it's kind of like a R&B / funk / soul album, and the way that it was described to me, at least the place I heard about it first, how they described it, which was the Rory and Mal podcast, it was essentially described as Childish Gambino mixed with Good Kid, Mad City. And at first I didn't really feel like it was, but after listening to it a few more times, that checks out. It's a really solid album. So yeah, that's one thing that's been on repeat quite a bit, and it's just nice to get albums like that where it just kind of comes up out of nowhere, and you're like, oh shit, I actually enjoy this. Like it's not something that I was looking for. Plus, Black Odyssey is pretty new too, so when you have an artist that just gets you super excited and wanting more music, and for them to only have that one album out, like that's a rare feeling. Moving on, like through October, I think the first major release, the first major release, at least for me, was Lute's album, which was Goldmouth. Goldmouth was really solid as well. See, this is weird because like I did plan to review it, but I don't know, whenever an album comes out on a Monday, like I listen to it a lot more, but I end up not reviewing it. Or anytime it comes out like earlier in the week, it's hard for me to review just because like the way I tend to do reviews is like start on Friday, like when the music comes out, like start processing it and then work on it throughout the week and try to have something out by like Wednesday or Thursday. When it comes out on Monday, it's like, when do I put out the review? So I just end up not doing it most of the time. Which, I mean, it's kind of unfair, but Lute's album was really good. I would definitely say it's not for everyone, because I did show it to a few people and they weren't really feeling it, but I enjoyed it. I know a lot of people were really waiting for it or looking for it since he dropped GED. And honestly, since then, I didn't really listen to any of the other singles. But because I just didn't know when the album was coming out, and I didn't want to do like one of those things where I listen to these singles way, way early, and then the album comes out and I'm like, I already listened to these singles a bunch, and just kind of over it. So that was that. At least for why I didn't listen to the singles. But The album's good. It's very personal. There's a lot of like, there's a lot of stuff that I relate to. I feel. It's like a lot of being by yourself, being introverted, being very, I guess, in your own head, dealing with anxieties. So it's something that I connected with a lot of times, but I'm sure a lot of people would too. It's different though in the sense that you can have it on and not really notice what he's saying and just kind of vibe out because it's kind of got that feel to it. Like it's not like I say vibe out in a way that's like not like a party sort of thing, I guess, because people are like, oh yeah, we'll just throw it on as a vibe, but more in the sense that it's kind of like it's just chill. It's hard for me to explain that. I guess it's got a lot of soul sample influences and stuff like that. So maybe that's what I mean. Like it's just more, it's laid back. It's an enjoyable listen. But again, not for everyone. Like I think when I showed it to one of my friends, the biggest issue he had with it was his voice for some reason, which I get, sure. And kind of his like slow flow delivery or monotone flow delivery, which I enjoyed it. So if you want to listen to it, go for it. I don't remember what else came out that week, not gonna lie. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Well, Don Toliver dropped an album which I didn't listen to. Honestly, I also mentioned this on Bar for Bar After Dark. It's not like I dislike him. It's more that, like on his, like when he does music on his own, it's just less interesting to me. Like I feel like he does well on features, but when he goes on his own, he tries to do more pop sort of sound. But I feel like he does better on the more atmospheric sort of sounding tracks. But that's just me. I also just didn't even listen to the album, so I don't really don't listen to me for an opinion on that. But starting at the beginning of the month, outside of Lute's album, Meek Mill dropped Expensive Pain, and I wasn't really feeling it. It's weird because Meek Mill's one of those people that I always will give. I'll always give him a chance, but I never really enjoy. If you enjoy him, dope, but he's just not for me. Lil Wayne and Rich the Kid dropped something too, and I didn't listen to that. I just thought the cover art was hilarious, though. It's just them two as babies with their arms crossed. Benji dropped an album which I still need to listen to. Smile You're Alive. Like Benji's just such a cool guy. He's from Spillage Village, in case you aren't aware of who he is. He's the guy that's usually playing the bass, but he's also a rapper, so definitely check it out. I haven't checked it out yet, though. Excuse me. Moving on from that, the following week on the 8th, the week that Don Toliver dropped, I didn't listen to anything other than Lute's album. James Blake also dropped his album, which I've heard a few songs from, and I enjoyed. For me, James Blake, it's like I don't want to, or I'm not gonna listen to a whole album from him most of the time. I'll listen to a couple songs here and there, but again, just my preference. He's amazing, but I don't really listen to him like that. Oh yeah, Tech Nine dropped. I didn't listen to the album. I listened to the track with The Rock, and I thought it was asinine because the title of the album is Asinine. I don't have any intentions on listening to the album or reviewing it. Also that week, Atmosphere dropped Word, which I listened to only once, and I feel like I should listen to it some more because it sounded good. Because I listened to it when I was getting ready, so I wasn't really paying as much attention to it. But the Barcade track, which I still haven't put out the breakdown for, might be too late for that now. Anyways, the track with Aesop Rock and MF Doom was pretty solid. The rest of the album, cool. I think he had a track with Evidence. I enjoyed that one. He had a track with Evidence that dropped with the first part of it, and then I think there was another track later on as well. But overall, pretty solid album. Atmosphere is in a place where you kind of know what you're gonna get, so you can't really go wrong. It's not to say that you're not gonna be blown away, or it's like just kind of mid, I guess. It's more just that you're not going to get anything too crazy at this point in their career. At least I don't feel like you are. You're just kind of going to get a lot of the same. Like, Slug is an older guy now, and he has told us about so many things in his life. I don't know what else he's got to tell us. Like, he's going to get to that point soon, I feel. Moving on from that, the other music that dropped, that at least I checked out. Yeah, I don't know how I forgot about that album. Like, I listened to it too. Like, I'm telling you, this month's been weird for me. Like, I've just been busy. Moving on. Sorry. Oh yeah, Young Thug dropped. See, I'd be forgetting things. So Young Thug dropped Punk, and overall, Punk was not what I was expecting from Young Thug, but I enjoyed it. Like, just overall, I enjoyed it. I do wish it was shorter, because Thugger does that thing that a lot of artists do, where they just kind of bloat their albums. Because I think it was like 22 tracks, and if it was instead about 12 tracks, it would have been perfect. Like, I really enjoyed how it started, like, not even started, but like a lot of the album was kind of introspective, and I feel like I got to learn more about Thug. I'm not a super fan of Young Thug, but I do enjoy listening to him on occasion. So I don't know all about his life, so I'm not entirely sure if this is something that he's done in the past or not. But because he kind of went in and just talked about life, I was like, this is dope. I enjoy this. Although him starting the album with like kind of spoken word, and then like the second verse starting off saying, I always knew I wasn't going to be gay, is an interesting choice, to say the least. Also that week, I didn't listen to anything else. Yeah, I mean, the other stuff came out, I just didn't listen to anything. I'm telling you. I just didn't have the time. And then that brings us to Friday, this past Friday, the 22nd. There was really only 2 releases I was looking forward to. And that was JPEG Mafia's LP and Wale's Florin 2. So I'm going to review Peggy's album, so I'm not going to get super into it. But Peggy's album was really enjoyable. Both the official version and the offline version. The difference between the two is primarily that there were a few songs that Peggy wanted on the album but couldn't get the samples cleared. So he just put them on Bandcamp, where you can choose to pay for them, like the album, or just get it for free. So, you have that option, and you can go listen to it if you would like. It did also sound like, I have to read his note again, but this was supposed to be his last project on the label, I think UMG. And honestly, it sounded like he was pretty fed up with the label over, like, and this is not even like a new thing. He was just kind of upset with them through EQT Recording, which is part of UMG. Okay. It sounds like, labels just be doing shit. It almost sounds like the label was trying to make him make a more accessible sort of sound, which, to be fair, All My Heroes Are Cornballs and LP were a lot more accessible as far as Peggy is concerned. I mean, if you go back and listen to Veteran and then listen to these, like there's a pretty solid difference. I personally really do enjoy this current sound that Peggy has, but now that he is out of his deal, he's probably just gonna go wild, and I look forward to it. Like, I'm sure whatever he's got coming after this is gonna be more artistic and more his vision. So I'm excited for that. Like, it's gonna be great. Wale's album, it was okay. I know a lot of people are really, well, I was gonna say a lot of people are hyping it, but that's just because I follow Wale and he just be reposting a lot of stuff that people say. And I mean, you're not gonna really repost things that are negative about your album, right? I mean, why would you do that? Because like, I liked Wale. I liked his EP they dropped last year, and I liked Wow, That's Crazy. Like, both really solid projects, and this one is okay. Like, he went in a slightly different direction. It's more, I guess, poppy, if that makes sense. I guess more sing-songy, which, again, not a bad thing. Maybe I'm just not really in the mood for it, and that's why I'm not really feeling it. But, you know, if that's what you like, dope. I do want to say the track, I think it was Caramel. It sounded like, you know, when, like, in the early 2000s, when you would, like, download a rip of a song and it had, like, this kind of weird, like, digital sound to it, where it was a kind of an echo, but, like, you know, like, you know what I mean when you hear it. It sounded like Caramel had that on it, and I don't know if that was intentional, but it bothered me a lot. And I couldn't stop hearing it when I was driving. So, I don't know what to say about that. Maybe I'll try to listen to it with headphones, and see if it was maybe just something wrong with my speakers. But I mean, I got a new car and the speakers are amazing, so don't know. Anyways, I think that about does it for music. Oh shit, Maxo Kream. He dropped Weight of the World. Weight of the World. It is a really solid project. Again, another Monday release, which kind of made it weird for me to think about reviewing it. I also enjoyed this album. It was the only thing with Maxo Kream, I feel like, for me, his flow just kind of gets too, I don't want to say repetitive because that sounds really bad, but it's like, it's a very similar flow through a lot of it, at least for a lot of his more recognizable sounds or songs. And I don't know, like, I just stopped paying attention at sometimes. That's not to say the album's bad, because it is really good, and he does talk about a lot on there, ranging from people thinking that he's too good for them now, and like he ain't shit because he got money, and just, you know, talking about how his brother passed away, and talking about his family, and like that, the whole incident there. Like, Trips is a very intense song. And honestly, if it were up to me, I would have ended the album there. Because throwing on Don Toliver afterwards was kind of weird to me, but, you know, you do you, Maxo. You got that Don Toliver feature. You got to use it. But, yeah, overall, I mean, that album was pretty good too. I think if it did end at Trips, that would have been great. I forgot what other tracks come after Trips other than Believe. There you are, Maxo. Yeah, after... Oh no, Believe is the last one. Okay. What is wrong with me? But yeah, maybe if he cut out like one or two songs, it would be like way better. Like, but it's still pretty solid. But yeah, other than that, I've just kind of been re-listening to a lot of other music. Seeing as it is spooky season, I've been listening to clippings. There Exists an Addiction of Blood and Visions of Bodies Being Burned. Both very, very good October albums for sure. So if you're into spooky stuff, check those out. They're not new albums by any means. Like, they came out last year and the year prior, so yeah, older albums, but still very good. Other than that, I've been listening to a lot of Grand National, but that's expected. Listening to some music that is unreleased at the moment. Kevin Allen dropped Childish, the single for his upcoming project, Nothing Lasts Forever. It's a great song, and the album is going to be amazing. Believe me. The track features Rex Life-Raj and Jane Hancock, and really, you can't go wrong with them. Like, honestly, like, if you don't listen to music from the Bay, you're kind of missing out now, because we got a whole lot going on. Like, there's a lot happening down here. But yeah, Nothing Lasts Forever is coming out this week, and I'm excited. I'm excited for everyone else to hear it. Listening to a lot of Grand National, Vince Staples again. The usual. But other than that, there was a couple other like news sorts of things happening. So I guess near the beginning of the month, October 1st, they announced who's headlining the Super Bowl halftime show, and that's going to be Kendrick, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, and Eminem. This is pretty wild because I think this is the first time it's a majority rap halftime show. And I'm excited for it. Not necessarily just because it's all these people on the halftime show, but more so because this, that like there's a time frame now for these albums to come out. So that Kendrick's gonna drop by the Super Bowl, if not like just shortly after. So that's dope. There's also been these rumors about an Aftermath takeover. That's what it's called, where Eminem, Dre, and Kendrick are going to drop in Q4, which we are currently in. So between October and I guess January, they're all supposed to drop. And the fact that when Dr. Dre had posted that he's going to be at this halftime show, he said something along the lines of like the new era of my career or something like that. That leads me to believe that he's also actually has music coming out too. So it's going to be very exciting to see what happens. Obviously nothing's confirmed, but we'll see. The other couple major things, Supreme Clientele 2 is being worked on, being executively produced by Kanye, Mike Dean, and producer Plugin. Plugini.com. I don't know if Ghostface just typed something wrong. That's supposed to be coming out in February. We'll see. I feel like it's not going to come out that soon. Or if it might not even come out. Who knows? But if it does, dope. And then the last thing to bring up is Silk Sonic finally has a release date for their album. November 12th. It's been it's been months since they dropped Leave the Door Open, and it's like, come on now, like just drop the album. Like I think they just waited till everyone just kind of got tired of it, and they're like, we got you. The album's coming now. I don't know. That's all I got though, I think. I don't plan on taking that long between like videos in the future, but I mean, if it does happen, you probably know what's going on. But yeah, this month has been pretty interesting, and we got a couple more days in it, so let's see how the rest of October pans out. We might get some more wild shit. As far as videos this week, I mean, I'm going to try to get a JPEG Mafia review out, and the usual, maybe a breakdown. Actually, there was a track that's coming out this week that I am very excited for. It's supposed to come out on the 29th. Yeah, so it's a Jay-Z, Jadakiss, and it's a Jay-Z, Jadakiss, Conway, and Backroad G track, titled King Kong Rhythm. And I think it's supposed to be for the Harder They Fall film. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's the I think that's the film that Jay-Z was working on. So I'm excited for that track. Yeah, but other than that, that's all. So if you want to see more stuff like this, make sure you're subscribed. Honestly, this is just kind of a weird podcast video, so I might break it up into like little reviews on IG or Twitter or whatever, but we'll see. But yeah, like, subscribe, do all that sort of thing. Comment below with what I may have missed this month so far and what y'all been up to. Also, just, stay safe out there.